All right, ladies and gentlemen, here we are. We got 1 minute before we get to the bottom of the hour. This is our Wednesday night conversation. I'm excited. Listen, a new twist tonight. We're going to provide you with the same information, but maybe saying it in a different way and showing you something that we believe is stronger than thunder as it relates to the PowerPoint presentation that you're going to view and hear tonight. Join us on the platform, my good friend Eric Wilner, who's here with me every Wednesday, and also joining us tonight is what I'm excited about it, Mr. Fernando Ramirez. So you're going to have three people engaged in this conversation here shortly, guys. So once again, with this time we've got left, send out those last minute texts, make those last minute phone calls. We're about to launch an incredible presentation. This is our Wednesday night conversation. So I'm excited to be here with you as well as everyone else. So once again, send out those last minute texts, make those last minute phone calls. We've got less than a minute before we launch our platform. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're at the bottom of the hour. Once again, my name is Gerald W. Parker. I'm joined on the platform tonight by my good friend and co-host, Mr. Eric Wilner, who's with us every single Wednesday night. And also, new twist tonight, Mr. Fernando Ramirez out of Southern California. So, Fernando, welcome to the platform. Eric, welcome to the platform. There he is, ladies and gentlemen. We're excited. Listen, two for the price of one. I got to be the luckiest guy in the world to get an opportunity to share the stage with you two guys. Two of my favorite people, by the way. And guys, we're here tonight to once again talk about what we consider to be the greatest opportunity that exists on planet Earth. Eric Wilderness says that you can generate athletes money with this compensation plan that we're going to roll out tonight. And guys, we're going to go back. We're going to go back probably just a few months as it relates to the slide deck that you'll see tonight, because we don't want to lose the core premise of who MWR is and service-oriented, full-scale financial strategies company that provides you with everything you need to get your financial life in order. So, gentlemen, if you are ready, Fernando's on the controls. Eric, listen, guys, once again, I'd be remiss if I didn't share this story. I met this young man several years ago in South Florida, and what drew me to him was a story that he told me about his desires for the average everyday person. He speaks about it with such passion, but their core beliefs. I've had an opportunity to meet his father, and I know that the apple doesn't fall far from the tree, so I understand where this may have come from. But this is how he lives. He believes in these things. This is his belief system. Eric, before we start, if you could share those core beliefs and why they kind of line up with what we're doing with MWR.
Absolutely. And it's something that I talk about every day on my radio show. It's something that really is a very core belief. And there are three of them, actually. And number one is that I believe that everyone should own a home. And being a professional in the real estate career for over 30 years, I've had the opportunity to help a lot of people to get their very first home. And I'll tell you that the joy of seeing that is immense. But what's even more important is what happens to them. It transforms people's lives when they have their own home. So I fundamentally believe, number one, everyone should own their own home. Number two, I believe that everyone should have that financial home in order. And that means having a written plan, having clear, concrete written goals. Whether you call it a life plan, a financial plan, a business plan, I don't care what you call it, but it has to be in writing. And there's nothing better than having somebody who's prepared those plans before help you with that. Number three is that I believe that every person should have multiple streams of income. Gone are the days where you could rely on one job, one stream of income, or anything like that. And the best way is to have a business that has multiple streams of income, because not only does it provide income, but it also provides all sorts of tax benefits. You see, there are two IRS codes. Most people don't understand that there are two codes, one for the employee, the most drastic and cruel rules that there are. And then there is for the business owners. And guess who contributed to writing both of those codes? It was the business owners. But you see, you and I don't have to have a big business or be a big business in order to participate. All we have to do is have a business. And if we do that, then it opens up over 400 different tax write-offs, deductions, and other advantages that should be accessible to everybody. And I think tonight we're going to talk a lot about, the rules of the financial game. And yes, ladies and gentlemen, there is a financial game going on out there. But the good news about a game is that there are rules. And all you have to do is to learn the rules. And that's what we're going to talk about tonight.
I'm excited, my friend. Absolutely. We definitely want to learn the rules because we don't have any chance of winning if we don't know the rules. So this is where most people are missing it, but we bring the solution to the table tonight in the way of MWR. This is where Lifestyle and Legacy connect. This is our Lifestyle and Legacy presentation. Eric, think about what we're bringing to the table and how many lives it's already impacted. So, guys, that's what I'm saying. If you're seeing and hearing this for the first time, I mean, grab some notes, get in a quiet place, and you're going to want to take some notes on this, and we'll circle back at the end of the presentation and open up the platform to answer any of those questions for you. But the ability to live a lifestyle you want and build a legacy that your family deserves, I think everybody wants it. We just need a way to do it. We need a vehicle. How do we get there? And that's what we're going to see tonight. So we'll let Fernando take us to the next slide, and we'll go ahead and introduce this incredible opportunity because it speaks to where people are right now. When you talk about the reasons that we work, we want to create and maintain our current lifestyle, but also we're thinking every day about the future too, Eric. So we're building that, and then also the ability to leave a legacy. And then here's the other thing. How to make more money. These are the challenges that we face, and this is what we're all up against. One of those is how do we make more money? Two, how do we keep more of the money that we make? And then how do we make our money work for us, which is the primary question. Because at the end of the day, these are the results. We're talking about 50 plus years of working. That number's changed. It used to be the 40-40 plan. It's gone to 50 now. I know people that, matter of fact, I met a young man today, 71 years old, still working, not because he wants to, but because he has to. But the plan that we've been on is leaving families in debt instead of them leaving a legacy. We're financing a lifestyle instead of owning one. So, Eric, this is the status quo for the most people, the majority of people in this country.
And it's all because, as we mentioned, there's a game going on here, right? And unfortunately, the cards have been stacked in the favor of the home team, right? Wall Street, Washington, and big business. So the whole concept of being educated about financing and knowing the rules, it's not new. I don't understand, unless it's on purpose, why it's not being taught in schools. The country's going to be 250 years old next year, and we're still wondering whether we should teach our kids at the earliest age about money, finances, and the rules of money. Because the more time that you have, the bigger and more powerful all of these things that we're talking about are. And that's why it's so important what MWR is doing right now, literally leveling the playing field.
No question about it. That's exactly what we're doing. Fernando, let's go to the next one and dig a little deeper and see where this thing takes us because we're bringing the difference. We feel at least the MW opportunity is the difference, right? And it offers a guarantee. Eric, keep in mind we're operating within the financial service space. This is unheard of as it relates to guarantees, but these guys are bold enough to put it in writing, stand behind it because they can deliver. Look at what they're saying. If our expert strategies or opportunity cannot put more money back into your pocket than the cost of the membership, we refund your money in the first 30 days. I mean, where do you go, Eric, to get guarantees like that when you're dealing with money?
Yeah, when it comes to the financial world or the financial industry, a $30 trillion industry, believe it or not, in many cases, guarantees are not even allowed to be spoken, let alone put here in writing right before your eyes. And the bottom line is try asking, call your stockbroker tomorrow just for the fun of it and say, listen, I wanted to find out what kind of guarantees that you offer. And he'll tell you flat out that I can't give you any guarantees. But we have a brand new system, what I call a company in a category of one. And let me just reiterate, if our experts, and you're going to learn how you're going to have access to the same level experts that the wealthy do. If our experts, if our strategies, and so these experts, they're going to help you to implement the strategy. You don't have to go out and learn every strategy. You just have to have the right members on your team, and having a team of experts is exactly how to get there the fastest. And so again, if our experts, our strategies, and later on, I want to talk about our opportunity, can't put more money in your pocket than the cost of membership within your first 30 days, the company will give you a full, and I always love to say, cheerful refund, because it simply doesn't happen. If you use these services, it is a multiple. In fact, any one of our services could cost the amount of membership. And Dr. Parker, I often refer to this membership as the Costco of finances. It's like Costco. Why do people join Costco, right? It's because it's a great value. The cost of membership is small compared to the benefits that you get when you shop at Costco. Now, imagine if there was a Costco of finances to show you how to get your financial plan in order, how to institute all of the different financial strategies, and even give you access to great investment vehicles. That, my friends, is MWR.
And that's why we're winning, sir. No question about it. Fernando, let's keep going here. Eric just talked about it. Full refund, zero risk to you. I mean, unless you just get into a program and don't try. We want you to participate in your own rescue. Upload the documents, schedule your appointments, give the experts everything they need to assist you in exceeding from where you are to where you desire to be in your financial life. So let's talk a little bit about the membership, Eric, what our experts are prepared to do. One, we're going to help you keep more of the money that you make. Two, we're going to put your money to work for you and also at the same time protect the income and assets that we've helped you build. So we're here to help. But the areas that we help in are, as you see here, eliminating your debt, reducing your taxes, lowering your bills, restoring your credit. And we've got investment vehicles like the diversified cash flow account, the private reserve account, precious metals, and even land banking, and also trust my assets, which is going to allow us to position ourselves to what we build can be passed on from generation to generation. These are the same tools, Eric, that wealthy people use. And if you show this to somebody who's already a millionaire, and I'd be willing to bet that that person would say, these are the exact steps that I took to get where I am.
Yeah, and some people do it by accident, others do it with the guidance of CPAs, CFPs, IRS enrolled agents, all the people, the specialists. Imagine what you're looking at here, this matrix. I like to call it the wealth matrix. You see, it doesn't matter whether you have $2 in your wallet or $2 million in your bank account. Those first four blue ones, those are what we call our level one strategies. The next four, the green, those are our level two strategies. And I'll tell you that, like I said, doesn't matter whether you have a little bit or a lot. Everyone needs to reduce their debt. Everyone needs to eliminate or reduce their taxes. From the richest guy in the country to the lowest taxpayer there is, they all would like and aim to reduce their taxes. Why do the wealthy do that better than everybody else? It's not just because they have the money, it's because they have the access to the information. You and I have met very wealthy people, and you say, like, that guy's no smarter, no bigger, no stronger, no taller than I am. Why does that person have all the money and I don't have all the money that I want? It's because they have a team around them that does all the heavy lifting for them. And so that's why let's talk a little bit more on the next slide about the blue strategies, what we call our level one strategies. And as I said, everyone needs these things. The Wall Street Journal, Dr. Parker, publishes an article every single year about, the biggest expenses. Do you know that they published and said that the average American pays 34.5 cents of every dollar earned to interest and finance charges? So
Yeah.
right off the bat, 1/3 is allocated to pay debt on the lifestyle, on the bigger lifestyle that we're trying to support. Most people pay anywhere between 20 and 35% on taxes. Taxes used to be the biggest expense. Now it's taken over by debt. But just between those two categories alone is 65% of most people's income, meaning that they're left to live on about 1/3 of their income to pay all the other expenses. Well, guess what? We also have an expert in the area of managing and lowering your bills. Do you know that just like when you get on an airplane, right? You're flying from Miami to New York. Same departure, same departure gate, same departure time, arriving in New York at the same time. But two people could be sitting next to each other there. One person paid $200 for their ticket, one person paid $400 for their ticket. Why is there such a big difference in the price of the ticket? It's access and information. Where they bought their ticket, who they bought it with, and how they bought their ticket. And the same thing goes for every one of our financial strategies. And that's why our experts, and just imagine on speed dial, you have unlimited access to experts in each one of these categories. Now, number one, eliminate your debt. That's what you want to do. Debt, by the way, they say is the middleman between you and financial freedom. Reducing your taxes, nobody wants to pay any more than they have to the tax man. Lower your bills. Even your healthcare costs can be reduced and still not get the same level. And often, by the way, without even changing carriers, whether it's your cell phone bill, your cable bill, you name it, even without changing carriers, our experts will find the best program out there for you and then lay it at your feet for you to take advantage of it. Next, restore and increase your credit score. 30 plus years in the real estate business. Credit scores alone probably have killed more dreams of home ownership than any other single factor out there. Face it, a good credit score, an 800 credit score, is an asset. Harvard published an article that said that an 800 credit score is worth more than 100,000 cash in the bank. I'll tell you that a low credit score, anything below 700, is a liability. And so it's up to you. You can actually take care. And in our membership, included at no additional cost, and those of you who have ever tried to repair your credit know that you could pay hundreds of dollars, if not thousands of dollars, just for that benefit, which is included absolutely for free in our membership. Then that leads me to the next conversation. As you know, Dr. Parker, the thing that's nearest and dearest to my heart. I help to bring this program to MWR is how much I believe in it. And it has been one of the crown jewels of what we have helped more people become homeowners. When the banks say no, we say yes. We have a program for every credit score, whether it's a 0 credit score or an 850 credit score. We have a program that if you're coachable and you subscribe to what we're talking about here with our membership, you can be a homeowner. It's only a matter of when, not if. And then on top of everything else, our members get a bunch of rewards, and these are discounts and coupons on the everyday items that you use, the restaurants that you frequent, and so forth. Imagine starting off the month, and every month you get $150 in discounts to go use. It's a phenomenal benefit. And what's even more phenomenal than that, Dr. Parker, is that the average savings, when you look at all of those things, eliminate your debt, reduce your taxes, and that whole list, the average savings per member is about $2,000 on average. Now, that's $2,000 per month, not one time, not per year, $2,000 per month. Now, yours could be a little bit higher, yours could be a little bit lower, but here's the bottom line. It'll be multiples of what the membership costs.
No question about it. $2,000 a month is significant, Eric, regardless of where people are, what sort of income they're generating, because this $2,000 a month comes from your existing finances. These are holes in your financial bucket, and using our systems and tools, we plug those holes for you and put the money back into your pocket. So, Fernando, what do we do next? We've got an additional $2,000. Do we go shopping, or do we play it smart and look at putting that money to work for us? And that's where these legacy strategies come into play. Our experts are going to help you multiply and protect your money and your assets. How do we do it? Well, our self-banking strategies, we start there. Tax and risk-free savings, asset accumulation, tax elimination strategies through our trust, in income and asset protection. Oh, and not to mention Fundable 360, which is a new add-on to the platform. So that gives us even more advantages. But Eric, if you could talk through these and help our audience understand basically how we do what we do and why we're winning. It's so big on this side with MWR.
Right. And the reason I call these the level two strategies is because, as I mentioned before, everybody needs those first strategies that we talked about on the last slide. Most people can't think about these level two because they're trying to get by month to month. Now imagine having experts in your back pocket that show you how to claw back some of your own money, just like you said. This is money that you're already making. We haven't even talked about additional streams of income. But if you were to save an average of $2,000 a month, or even if it was half that, what would you do with it? You know, we have this part of the matrix, our diversified cash flow account. You know, this is like being self-banking. Banks, it's very interesting if you think about it. They take your money, you deposit it in there for quote unquote safekeeping. They pay you 0 point nothing percent on that money while they're holding it for you. But the money doesn't sit there idly waiting for you to come get it. They go ahead and they lend it out at today 6, 7, 8%. So they're making 7, 8% on zero cost of the money. But here's where it gets even more interesting, because as that money gets paid back, right? Does the money go back and sit in the account? No, it gets lent out again and again and again. That the banks, that's why banks can leverage your money up to 10 to 11 times. Imagine if you could do that. How could you build your wealth if you were able to have the same strategies? And that's exactly what our diversified cash flow account does. Our private reserve account allows you to use your money 2 to 3 times. In other words, you can invest it, starts earning a return, and while it continues to earn that return, what if you could use that money again and again? Land banking, one of my favorite topics. This is where land is bought in the path of progress. Do you know it's like reading tea leaves on the wall, or the handwriting on the wall, actually, because every city, every municipality has at least a 10-year future plan. Imagine if you were to go into one of these municipalities, or the hottest municipality, and then just go out and buy the land. You could pay retail price. Now, we don't. You could pay retail price today, sit on it for 7 years, and when they come a knocking because they need that for their city plan, they're going to pay premium dollars for that. And that's what land banking, that's what they did with Walt Disney in Orlando. We also have our own, and this is very, very unique. We have our own precious metals platform. Now, I'm not talking about paper versions of gold, silver, platinum, and palladium. I'm talking about the actual metal. Now, could be a little risky to buy those metals and leave them at home. Imagine if you had a safe, insured repository that would keep your physical metal for you. That's what our precious metals does. And as I said before, every one of these squares in the matrix is represented by a team of experts that know that field incredibly well, better than most. And then we have our trust my assets. You know, back in the day when kings and queens used to have, you know, their palaces and their fortunes, they would build a moat, a wall around everything to protect their wealth. Today, that's done with trusts. There isn't a very wealthy person that you know that doesn't have trusts set up to not only put their wealth in, but to protect their wealth. And then, as you just mentioned, that fundable 360. You know, I talked a lot about credit and how important having a good personal credit profile is. Did you know, and most people don't, did you know that you could also have a business credit profile, that you could borrow money, not ever using your personal? In other words, it's completely separate and apart, independent from your personal credit score. So you could physically have two credit profiles working for you. And in our program, the Fundable 360, we'll show you how to get a guaranteed minimum $50,000 for you to use in whatever area that you want to use, obviously for profit and in a business. But now we're talking our level 2 and level 3 strategies. And this, my friends, is how you leave a legacy.
I'm loving it, sir. I'm absolutely loving it. Here's the game plan laid out, folks. Let's see what else we've got, Fernando. So, Eric, once again, I think everybody wants to win in their financial life. No question about it. but then we just need a way to do it. And a lot of times, well, in many cases, we know that we don't have because we've not mastered this system. So the great majority of people are living paycheck to paycheck, working just to pay bills, never position themselves to accumulate enough money to begin to invest because we know the importance of money working for you. It's going to outwork you and me. So we've got to figure that piece out. But the struggle is, where do we get the money from to get started since we're not doing a good job at trying to save money or put it away so that we can look at investment vehicles? That's why the Funnel 360 is such a powerful concept and a powerful program. As you say, you don't use your personal credit, but now you're building business credit. Now you've got the capital you need to move forward. At this point, I'd like to bring Fernando Ramirez to the platform, Eric, to kind of go through this. He helped create this very slide that you see here. And Fernando talks about, six-figure passive income strategy using, business funding to jumpstart a precious metals leasing program or the investment at least.
Yeah, well, it's exciting to know that now that we have learned to use and leverage, other tools and other resources, managing and improving our personal finances, we're more open and receptive to see what we can do with business funding, which is building business credit. See, our company guarantees a $50,000 minimum. So once you put it into good use, you can use these funds however you want. We suggest that you use some strategies like this, like precious metals. So your first year, let's talk a little bit about the $50,000 guarantee that you can qualify for. If you put that to work with precious metals, let's assume an average of 3% rate of return monthly, that could generate for you $1,500 a month. Okay, let's assume you get your precious metal needs to pay back the loan, obviously, at 6 to 8% business funding estimated monthly payment. That's $500. So that means you can keep $1,000 profit at the end of the year. That's $12,000. And let's look at the amount total that you get in precious metals is $62,000. I mean, Eric, Dr. G.W. Parker, how do you feel about this type of rate of return on other people's money, which is the bank's money?
I know Eric's the numbers guy, so he's got a lot to say about this.
Yeah, and that's the thing, the numbers don't lie. What you have to do is understand, and now you understand those principles that I was talking about. We talked about home ownership. We talked about having a plan, a written plan. You see what Fernando laid out here is an example. It's one of many examples. But you know what's very creative, and this is why having experts in your back pocket is so important, because you may know about business funding, and maybe like me, I know real estate, and I would take $50,000 and invest it in real estate and create a great rate of return. I never knew that you could actually, the same way you lease out a property, you can lease out your precious metals, collateralize and have my metals appreciating while I'm making money on someone else being able to access or use that as collateral. The bottom line, and I don't want to get technical about this, the bottom line is that if you had access to more money and you could borrow money, let's just say 8%, but you can make 15%, or let's just make the math easy, 18%, right? So you make 10% on every dollar that you could get. How much money would you like to get? That's really the basic question. How much is all that you could get is really, because the only thing stopping you from making more money is more money. And a lot of people say it takes money to make money, but it doesn't have to be yours. And that's why putting these multiple strategies together, imagine having a team of experts. And by the way, notice that Dr. Parker, nor Fernando, nor I ever said that either of us have to be licensed in all of these regulated areas. Our experts are licensed. We're able to talk about this and share this with people in all 50 states and all US territories. So this is just an example that if you were to methodically take out 50,000 the first year, lease it out, pay the cost of the financing, earn your monthly profit, and then watch also what happens when the precious metals sit there and then they appreciate. By the end of year one, your 50,000 turned into over 62,000. Now, because you paid and did everything on time, banks are going to trip over themselves, because when they find good credit, they love to lend to people that have a good track record. And when you put this all on autopilot, and so the money's coming in, the money's getting paid out, the profits are getting reinvested. Year two, you now have your 62,000 plus a new $50,000, you're starting out at 112, end of the year 140, year 3 140, add another 50, you're at 190, 190 grows to 240, and just jump to the end. In 5 simple years, if you had the right expertise behind you, with zero of your own money, remember, this was created money from your business profile. This is a possibility. Okay. Now, I'm not guaranteeing anything right here. I'm just telling you what is possible when you have experts in your corner and you have the resources at your feet. So let's go to the next slide.
Wow.
And we're only talking about here a 5-year estimated game plan. This to me is a short-term proposition. Lots of people think, well, that's a long time compared to what? It's a short-term proposition for
Compared to
financial
50 years,
prosperity.
10 times
Yeah,
longer.
that's right.
You know, I remember
Exactly.
Dr. Parker, when you and I first met, and we used to talk about the 40-40-40 trap, right? That's
That's
where
right.
people work 40 hours a week.
Yeah.
Good luck if you only work 40 hours a week. They work 40 years of their lives. Good luck if you only have to work 40 years. People are working now into their 60s, 70s, and even 80s right now. And most of them, not because they want to. I guarantee you, the greeters at Walmart, the little old lady wiping the tables at McDonald's aren't there because that was their passion. They would much rather be spending time with their family, their grandkids, maybe donating time, volunteering, making a difference, making an impact. So the cool thing about this membership, this MWR membership, is that everything you need to secure your today lifestyle and your tomorrow legacy is wrapped up in one membership. How much is the price of that? It's $149.97 a month. Now, if you've ever used any of the services that I've talked about, just my CPA charges twice that amount per hour. You know, whether you get advice from financial advisors, you would spend that per hour, not per month. And you have unlimited access, number one. Number two, no contracts. Hey, you don't like it? Cancel it right away. Do it in your first 30 days, you get your money back. There's no setup fees. You know, there's no enrollment costs and hidden fees and junk fees. This is it. It is this simple. We try to keep everything very simple. Oh, and by the way, this includes your spouse. And doesn't have to be your official spouse. It can be your domestic partner. It can be father, daughter, mother, sister. 2 people for the price of one, same address, gets all of the benefits individually and together. You see, the experts will do twice the work, all of the work for everybody, for the same $149.97. And that all comes with a 30-day money-back guarantee. Now, I'm going to tip my cards a little bit. Do you know that there's a way to get that 149 for free? In other words, get all the services, level 1, level 2, level 3, the fundable 360, the precious metals, everything that we talked about for free. All you have to do is recommend and refer 3 other people who become members of MWR. If they do, and it's the same thing as if Dr. Parker, if I just came out of Costco for the first time, you've never heard of Costco, I tell you what an amazing experience I had. I had sample foods. I got big discounts. I got bulk at wholesale prices. You got to go check it out. Dr. Parker goes in there and he says, well, listen, for the annual fee of $50, I saved that on my first round of groceries, and the rest is all gravy. Same thing happens here. You will make back multiples, on average $2,000 a month. Let me ask you what's not even a trick question, Dr. Parker. If I said, listen, if you'll invest $149 with me, and then I guaranteed to give you, or let's just say I guaranteed to give you an average of $2,000 back, would that be interesting to you?
All day, every day, sir.
And that's the question. You know, would you pay that? Now, I told you how to get it for free, and I'm recommending that you do that. And if you use these services, you'll be as excited as Dr. Parker and I are all about this because, well, let me stop for a second. Dr. Parker is one of the original members. When the company was founded, it had less than 10% of all of the benefits that they had. Dr. Parker saw the value in this program. He not only saw the value, for example, you know, in our accounting, the instant pay raise, where he had experts analyze his paycheck And immediately they changed his W-4 form for him because he never got the guidance already at work. And then he had a $300, raise that he didn't have to ask or beg or, or prove himself for.
Yeah.
He went out and had his last 3 years tax returns reviewed. Did you know that our members can have their tax returns 3 years before you even joined, reviewed by a CPA to find out if you left money on the table? But Dr. Parker, by the way, when I met Gerald Parker several years ago, he was not a doctor. Okay. He was an excited guy who shared this opportunity with Fernando, who shared it then with me. And then, we became very excited because Dr. Parker, who got his doctorate, by the way, as a result of the time freedom that he got. And by the way, hands out, show some love. Dr. Parker just released a book. So here's a guy that went from a $65,000 a year regular job today, making over 6 figures, to have the lifestyle of his dream, homes in 2 places, drives the car of his dreams, became a doctor, is a minister, now has a golden purpose that he is now sharing this finances all across the country. You were very polite, Dr. Parker, in introducing me the way you did. I had to do the justice that you are. We're talking about a gentleman who is moving an industry, changing lives, both, spiritually as well as financially. And here you are tonight, listening to him talk about what I call the Costco Costco membership of finances, and all this for $149.97. It's pretty amazing when you think about it.
Eric, no question about it. 149.97 average to be about the price of a cup of coffee a day. And as you've already stated, there's no way that people walk off the street into a CPA's office or financial planner and get access for 149.97. You're talking an average of $200 to $300 an hour. And that's why most people are losing and not winning, simply because we've not been locked out of the process. We've been priced out of the process. So now is the time for us to get our financial life in order, position ourselves using these experts, and take a win at some point. I mean, this idea of just struggling through it is no fun for anybody. And we say today at MWR, enough is enough. We're going to give you everything you need to succeed and support you and give you all the help that you need. Fernando, what else have we got? 149.97. Wow. There's a business opportunity attached to this too, Mr. Wilner.
Yeah, yeah. And I was, you see, we're both excited to talk about this. We talked about the membership, and the membership is worth its weight in gold. Let me just tell you, I would trade 149 for $1,000 every month, right? But here's the thing. I said that if you share this and 3 other people become members, your membership is free. What if I told you that there's also a revenue generating opportunity that also comes, and that for a single one-time $100 additional payment in the first month, we're going to make you a business owner, literally in 24 hours, a business owner with a business, with all the business resources that you could possibly have, by the way, including your own CPA, your own CFP, all in the back office included. Professionally designed websites. Some of you may have already seen them. They are high quality, professionally designed. It would cost you thousands of dollars to create a website just like that, that's able to track all of your business, that's able to do social media, banners, and all the marketing material on the front side. So you have now a store. You also have the back office, which tracks all of your business, all of your memberships, all of, everything, the team that you're building, as well as training materials and everything else. Where else? Now, I'm not going to say that you could start a business for $100. You're buying a business, a proven formula. It's kind of like getting a franchise. Where could you buy a franchise for $100? That, let me show you in a little bit. I'm going to show you not only how to get the membership for free, but I'm going to show you how to self-fund this business in less than 30 days. So what's your investment? $149 for the membership, $249 if you want the business. Put that on the shelf for a second. Now, a business means that we're going to grow. We're going to build a team around this, okay? And we're going to do this seriously. This is not a hobby for people. And let me just add one thing. Dr. Parker, what is the most common conversation that literally everybody has? I don't care whether you're rich or you're poor, a conversation everybody has pretty much every day.
It's money, finances. Listen, I was at the grocery store the other day, going down the aisle, two ladies on the other side of me complaining about the prices, right, of the goods that they were purchasing. And they talked about what that same item cost 2 years ago versus today. At the gas station, I'm filling my car up. This guy said, "Man, I wish I could do the same." He sees the numbers on the pump, right? I said, "Well, you can." But nonetheless, he's began to talk about lack of financing, not having the ability to live the life, the fact that gas prices are going up and what he paid for gas a year ago versus today. Everybody's talking about it everywhere you go. It's an issue.
It is an issue, and it's the most common. And some people talk about it, in a negative sense. Some people talk about it in a positive sense because they heard a great tip, they thought about, or they talk about their financial dreams and aspirations. So let's just imagine, and I'll bet you that you have 50 names in your cell phone right now, if not hundreds of names in your cell phone right now. Do you think in that list there's 3 people that if you shared with them this golden opportunity, they would say something like, "Well, that sounds really interesting. Can I do that with you too?" And you said, "Absolutely. Here's the deal. Come to one of these presentations, learn a little bit about it." But the bottom line, if you found 3 other people, just 3, okay, that have a wish to make a little bit more money, that are not certain that they have their financial legacy and retirement already designed and wrapped up. If you had just 3, MWR has something called the luxury residuals. This is one of my favorite parts. I'm not going to get into this entire money matrix here right now, but with just 3, MWR starts to pay you a salary-like daily pay of $5. All you need is 3 people on your team, 2 personal sales of the membership, and you count as one of those. So all you need is 3 members or 3 team members and 2 regular members, of which, again, one is you. Every day, and Dr. Parker, Fernando Ramirez, and other people are on the call today, they know that on this phone every day, a few minutes after 5, we get a text saying that your daily pay has just been electronically deposited into your account every single day. Now, $5 probably doesn't move the needle for a lot of people. If I got $5 a day, you probably spend that in candy and soda machines. Can't even buy you a cup of coffee at Starbucks anymore. But $5 a day times 30 days in a month is $150. Now, remember what the membership cost? $150. I just showed you how with just 3 members or 3 team members that you could have that money paid for you. In fact, if you did both, and that's what I always recommend, go get yourself 3 members, get yourself a team of a minimum of 3, and now you're not paying for the membership and you're getting $150 a month. But, and I always love to say this, but wait, there's more. So if you did that in your first 30 days, I had to have the fun, Gerald. If you did that in your first 30 days, the company offers a momentum bonus. On the far right, you'll see the momentum bonuses. And so for every member that I got $50. So there's 150. I just recovered my monthly fee. With a momentum bonus of 150, I'm now in the black. I no longer have any money invested in this business in the first month. Most businesses don't turn a profit for a whole year. Now, month 1, this is what I did. Month 2, I went out, and instead of going out and getting more people to join my team, I wanted to reward the faith and the confidence that my team had in me, and I'm going to help them to duplicate what I did in my first month. And if I do that and help those I'll have 12 people actually in my team, of which I have only sponsored 3. But now the company promotes me from $5 a day to $20 a day. Now, $5 may not have moved the needle, but what it did do for me is it was a proof of concept. It validated that this was real and it actually worked. The second month, I went from $5 to $20, $600 a month. I promise you, you'll notice the $600, even if you didn't notice the $150. For some people, that's a generous car payment. For some people, it's a good part of your mortgage. For a lot of people, that might be the difference between making it or not making it each month. Now, for doing that, for helping your team realize their 30-day goals, the company will now give you another $450 bonus. Again, now you're even farther in the black. So far, you've made $600 in bonuses, plus you're making $600 a month in earnings. And that's not even if you're not adding one single extra membership. And I promise you that as you're telling people about the benefits that this membership has, that people will be joining left and right. Well, we said this is a momentum bonus. So now let's take that into the third month. We help the new freshman incoming class to get their first 3. That builds my team now to a total of 36. Remember, I still originally only brought 3, but because I helped my team each get their 3, that's my focus. I have 36. I'm now making $50 a day. And now this is a very significant point, okay? Because at $50 a day, you're earning $1,500 a month. Now, I don't care who you are, you're going to notice an extra $1,500 falling into your account like salary, yet you have no hours to work. You can work from wherever you are, be wherever you want to be, when you want to be. And all you're doing is sharing what you would share anyway, have the conversations of money that you have every single day anyway. The company now will reward you also with a $900 bonus that month for a total of $1,500 in momentum bonuses, countless dollars in memberships, and the $1,500. And you know what I just did right now, Gerald? Do you know we talked about the 40-40-40, right? At what people retire on. Do you know that the Social Security, who also publishes an annual report, and in their annual report, there's 2 things that everyone should know. Number 1 is the maximum Social Security check being paid out to anyone in the United States of America is $4,000. That's the maximum. That's if during a long period of your career, you paid in the maximum amount. The average Social Security check going out today is around $1,600. Now, notice that took 40 to 50 years to earn. And that's because most people didn't have a financial plan, didn't have experts in their corner, and didn't know what they needed to know financially. Here, in 90 days, you reproduced. Fernando was talking about a 5-year plan. How about a 90-day plan if you decide to take this and really work on it? And it's up to you. You see, this chart right here, Dr. Parker calls this what is it that you call it?
Well, my fixed income chart. I can fix
Your
my
fixed
income to
income
be
chart.
whatever I want it to be.
I call it the money menu. You look down the menu, pick the thing that you want, and then just roll up your sleeves and say, this is what I got to do to get there. Do you know that right now, we went up to 50, but as you help more generations generate more people, and we're gonna find people that are motivated, and when they feel what we're feeling, they're gonna go out there and do it some more. We have a gentleman, friend of yours and of mine, that today is at the $1,500 per day. Imagine. Now, if you didn't notice the $5, I'm absolutely positive that you're going to notice your bank account growing by $1,500 a day. That's $45,000 a month. That's over, okay, $500,000 in a year. And that's when I said, and I know the guy, the guy, a regular guy, an English major in college on top of that, who today lives an incredible lifestyle. We'll talk a little bit more about him later, but he's making $1,500 per day, $500,000, just from this one revenue stream, the luxury residuals. Now, we might talk about it a little bit later, but there's 7 different revenue streams, including the momentum bonuses, the legacy bonuses, the lifestyle bonuses, and more. So the bottom line here, the maximum potential that you could make is up to $15,000 a day. Okay, now I have a question for you, Dr. Parker. $15,000 a day times 30 is $450,000 a month. That's over almost $5.5 million a year. That is athlete's money for the everyday person that just stays consistent on building that team. And remember, the team builds itself. But let me ask you this, $15,000 a day, what changes in your life, Dr. Parker?
Everything, my friend. The car I drive, the clothes I wear, where I send my kids to school, the home I live in. Everything changes. No question about it. Hey, but two things you mentioned, Eric, and we're going to prove it out right now. Proof of concept, and also the fact that this is a short-term proposition. You mentioned people spending 30, 40, 50 years working to secure $1,600 a month Social Security income. Fernando, if you'll come back to the platform, here's a gentleman, I mean, living proof. 8 months in, ladies and gentlemen, 8 months in, took advantage of this same revenue sharing plan that Eric just went over with you and find himself as a regional director, 300 plus people on his team, $200 a day, $6,000 a month. Ladies and gentlemen, that's $73,000 a year. My friend, 8 months, that's phenomenal to me.
Well,
And
it's
that,
thrilling to know how. I'm sorry. Can you guys
no,
hear
no, I
me?
was just gonna say, and on his terms, he works when he wants to work, where he wants to work.
Yes.
Well, it's a powerful thing. I mean, especially when you know that you come from a background of the industry. So I've been in this industry long enough to appreciate and recognize opportunity. I got involved when I was 24 years young. Came from being a plumber, working too many hours for too little money. So when I got involved in the industry, I made great money my first 10 years in my first business opportunity. Then my second uh, uh, time around with another business opportunity, I worked it for 13 years. I made great income. The industry has spoiled me making great income, but looking for greater and better opportunities. When we saw MWR, one of the things I've never gotten paid, and you can all be a witness of that are here with us, that have been with us for a while, is the guarantee income, the daily guarantee income. When I asked you, Dr. G.W. Parker, you mean to tell me the company pays a daily salary income in sales? And what did you say?
Yes.
Yes, it sure does, Fernando. I said, so if I structure my organization accordingly and appropriately, and I position myself, you mean to tell me that every day I'm going to get a pay? And you said yes. So what did we do? In 8 months, we came in with great people like Eric Wilner, Anna Rodriguez, Elisa Cabello, everybody that came in with us right away. In 8 months, we positioned ourselves right here in a short 8 months. Okay. And back then they didn't have these bonuses right here, but proof of concept, as Eric alluded to, Anna came in and she blew my top off. She got in this position of $200 in as little as 3 months.
Wow.
So when she got there, I was like, wait a minute. And I tell Martha, what are we doing? We got to step in the game and really go at it and go make it happen. So you can make it happen as fast as you want to or as low as you want to. It's all up to you. But the compensation plan is unmatched. There's nothing out there in the industry. In 31 years, I'm a witness of that. This compensation plan is unbeatable.
Eric,
And Fernando, what's kind of cool about the story you just told about Ana Rodriguez, this is while she, as a single mother and a full-time realtor, was still maintaining her real estate job. In fact, she found out what I also found out, and that real estate, there isn't a real estate agent that shouldn't be a member of MWR. Between our Keys to Home Ownership program, where today, in the old days, I would get leads. They would go to the bank. The bank would say no. And then, I'm sorry, I can't sell you a house. Today, that doesn't happen anymore. I say, tell me what your situation is. I have a program for you, whether it's from conventional banks all the way down to our own internal funding, our own internal, our self-financing. We have programs for every single credit. So mortgage brokers, real estate agents never again have to tell or disappoint their clients saying, I can't help you, because now with MWR, you absolutely can. So imagine Ana Rodriguez, right? You said that she went right to regional director, 300 people, because she talked about the credit restoration that's part and included in the membership. She talked about the home ownership. Everybody, I say should, but everybody really secretly wants to own a home. They would love to if it could happen. Now imagine if you met someone who says, I can make it happen. And I want to just come back to the bottom line here. The experts do the work. We have housing experts that do the work. You get paid daily simply for referring people into the program and then showing them how to use the program to build their finances.
Wow. It's big, guys. I mean, it really is. I mean, living proof that this concept that we've put together with MWR and tie this revenue sharing plan can take people to a totally different level. And Eric, the beauty of it is that you don't need a lot of people. You just need to find a handful of people that really see it and understand it, hit the ground running, lock arms, and watch what happens. Fernando Ramirez is living proof. Eric, your success in the business, again, as it relates to realtors, is living proof, guys. And every time I talk with a realtor or anyone in the mortgage business, I mention your name. I said, you want to see people that are highly successful using this concept, generating income while they're taking their clients to a position where they don't have to be turned down or denied. And even if they are, you've created a scenario where they actually can get back in the game and secure that home of their dreams. So that's the beauty of what we bring to the table. Fernando, what's next for us here?
I wish we didn't have to move from that page, but I know we have to.
But listen, now we go from there to even here because there's even more money on the table. Now, Eric, you mentioned Fundable 360, that business owners are gravitating toward this program because everybody can use an infusion of cash currently within the economy. So $50,000 minimum, no personal credit needed. We're going to build business credit. And this is going to give us the funding that we need to move on with investments or anything that they want to do with the money. It's totally up to them. But you mean we're going to get paid on that too, the referral?
Yeah, and handsomely, for every person that you refer. And again, you don't have to explain the financing, the funding, the interest rates, how to get there. All you have to do is set an appointment with one of our Fundable 360 experts. They take over from there. They explain the program. They sign them up and you get paid. And by the way, for each person, imagine walking into any strip shopping center in your neighborhood and you walk into a business owner and said, listen, Mr. Parker, if I could show you a way to get a guaranteed $50,000 funding for your business, and you can use the money for any purpose that you like, would you be interested? What business owner wouldn't like to have extra money for marketing, for inventory, or investing in this case? And every time I make that referral, I get another $400 per business owner that signs up. There's also another 25% of, like I said, there's so many different revenue streams in there. Here's the thing. If you have a heart to help people and you want to make a difference in people's financial and personal lives, MWR is a tool. You may not have ever heard of MWR yet. I promise you, based on the growth of this company and what this company does, it is in a category of one. It's in the financial services industry, which is a $30 trillion industry. Do you know that the financial industry is bigger than the Major League Baseball, the NBA, and the NFL all put together aren't what the financial services industry is? And this is how you can, without a license, without expertise, only the ability to share. Try it. If you like it, you'll share it. If you share it, you can make, as my good friend Dr. Parker says, ridiculous amounts of money for the amount of effort that you have to put in here.
No question about it. Fernando, it gets
As a
even
matter
better.
of fact, Dr. G.W. Parker, I want to congratulate Mr. Gilbert Pino. He just became a part of our business funding yesterday, as a matter of fact. He's a real estate expert. He's been in the industry for a long time. So when he saw this opportunity, he goes, I love it. So now he already started with the business funding yesterday. So I want to congratulate him. He's a one-star executive director, already generating residual income daily. Has received some of that income that the company pays out, but he made $400 on his own personal business funding.
Yeah, that's right. You can even you get paid that commission even if it's you wanting that, extra money. So that's pretty cool. So the best way, documentation beats conversation every time. And we have a scrolling, never-ending website of all the testimonials, the thousands of people across the country that we've helped. Some of them are just members using the benefits and enjoying that. Some of them are getting paid daily just because they're sharing it. They're saving more money. They're earning interest instead of paying it. They're building and buying their dream homes. And we've got examples and photos of people who've literally built a house from their rewards from MWR. We have the Ivories, retired Army military that was sent went to go work for the private contractor after he got out of the military. The pandemic came along. They told him to go wait home and wait, we'll call you back. He was introduced to MWR during the pandemic, took this opportunity and ran with it when the pandemic was over, and his former boss called him up to come back to work. He says, I'm sorry, I can't afford to go back to work, ladies and gentlemen. I found an incredible opportunity that has changed my life. And he built a house, a beautiful, 6,000 square foot house on a lake in Georgia. And, he's living the lifestyle that now he designs. So whether it's driving the cars that you like, building the houses that you want, traveling around the world, whatever it is, plus leaving a legacy for your families, everyone wins with MWR. That's what I have seen. There's no risk. There's a money back guarantee for the membership. There's even a money back guarantee if you can't get the funding for, if you apply yourself, they're going to stick with you until you get the money. So once again, it's not when or if, it's when. So that's where we stand today with MWR. We've got plenty of testimonials. We've got plenty of services, plenty of resources. Now it comes time to make a decision.
Wow. We got some
And the
choices
choice,
to make, Eric. And here's the thing. Yeah, I say to our audience, either choice you make, it's not the wrong one. I mean, so if you're focused on the membership only, you want to surround yourself with these experts and get your financial life in order, $149.97. Eric mentioned basically about the price of a cup of coffee a day. But if you're like myself and Mr. Wilner and Mr. Ramirez, you want it all, right? So we want the opportunity to use the services and also promote the business to generate additional streams of income. So our investment up front is going to be only $100 more. So we've got a $249.97 investment. What does that do for us? One, it puts us in business with the fastest growing financial strategist company in the country. That's MWR. Two, it puts us in the middle, and you heard Eric talk about it, a multi-trillion-dollar a year industry, financial services. So we have the ability to bring to the table the solution to the problem that 98% of the people in this country are facing. The issue is finances. You've got the answer, and you've got the experts to assist the average person in winning. Eric, you mentioned 7 streams of income, and you see it here on the chart there, multiple ways to generate income from the compensation plan that we reviewed. And truth be told, yes, I needed these services, wanted to get my financial life in order, but what really, really, really got me interested is the ability to generate a stream of income over and above what I was doing working for someone else. That happened to allow me to introduce the concept with others and replace the $65,000 a year income to do this full time. A $249.97 investment. I'll take Fernando as an example. How many times over has he gotten his $249.97 back, making $200 a day, $6,000 a month, $73,000 a year? I mean, anyone could ask the question, was it a good investment, Fernando Ramirez?
It has been. It has already turned into a six-figure income since we started it from day one.
Wow.
Only make one type investment, it's over.
Yeah, and what I have found is, we're just talking about the luxury residuals. What I have found is that when you get past the first couple of levels, whatever the luxury residual income is, the other sources equal it. So it's usually double what you see in the luxury residual column. So it is probably the most generous compensation plan that I have ever seen in this area. It's in the most talked about conversation space that there is in business. And so it's kind of like, how would you like to share what people want anyway, right? It becomes an opportunity to show people the way, to help people. And as I mentioned, in the real estate business, as a real estate professional and a mortgage professional, it has augmented what I already do. It wasn't an either or, it's an and. It's kind of like this decision right here. The choice is yours. You can have the membership, or you can have the membership and the business. And as I mentioned, and this is why I got excited. Remember, we started out talking about those three core beliefs. I talked about the housing, and you'll hear me bring it up over and over. Number two, I talked about having a financial plan. You know, one of the things we have are certified financial planners. You give them the information, you know, where are you starting? Where's your point A? Then you tell them, what is my point B, my goal, my dream? And then they'll construct the roadmap in between, and they'll tell you what you need to do. And maybe you need an extra business income stream as an accelerator, because on the current income that you're making, it's not going to take you there. And that's why this is such an interesting opportunity. And just remember, we started out by saying this is a guaranteed opportunity here. The only difference, the only guarantees that you see in the financial services business, and it bears repeating, if our experts' strategies or opportunity cannot put more money in your pockets than the cost of membership within your first 30 days, MWR will give you a refund. And it's just like anything else. You join a gym, you don't show up, well, you'll get no benefit from the gym. And the gym doesn't even guarantee you any results, right? They just guarantee that they'll let you in if you pay. Here, we're going to show you experts. We're going to give you the experts unlimited access, the strategies that the wealthy use. That's why it's, like I said, it's a membership that I wouldn't be without.
It's a no-lose proposition, Mr. Wilder, no question about it. I mean, as we said earlier, everybody wins, but here let's wrap it up with this one, because this is where the rubber meets the road. This is where we have to have hard talks to ourselves, basically, and to kind of determine where we want to go and how we want to lead this. You know, let's finish the work that we started. But Eric, I know this is one of your favorite slides, and I mean, it says a lot without even having the words. We talk about lifestyle and legacy, but we want to position ourselves so that we can leave a legacy for our children and even grandchildren. So you see the couple with the kids standing in front of the fireplace. So there's no picture above the mantle. It should be yours or mine, or someone associated with this business. But the question is, will your great grandchildren remember you? That's pretty profound. That hits hard if we take that seriously and give thought to that, Eric. When you see this, what do you think about?
Well, I think about the Kennedys, right? That generations know Grandpa Kennedy. Generations know the Rockefellers. Generations, know the Carnegies, and I could go on and on with that list. Was it because they were taller, smarter, better than you? No, it's because they left a legacy. They understood the power of their business. They had surrounded themselves with experts, and they created a legacy that could be multi-generational. We just showed you how to make athletes money. Multi-generational wealth can be built. And do you know that 80% of millionaires in America are first generation millionaires? That
Wow.
means that they haven't all inherited their money, they built it. Here's a last thought on this thing, because I think that empty picture, in your house, the next generation, will they have a portrait of you up there as saying, wow, Dr. Gerald Parker, my grandfather, left a legacy that's not only taking care of, our kids, their kids, and the kids that follow. That's a pretty powerful thing to think about, that you impacted multiple people. And that's a beautiful thing.
No question about it. I think about when you talk about generational wealth, and you use a few names, examples that we all know. How about Conrad Hilton? So now let's go back 3, 4 generations. We all know his famous great 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 granddaughter, 3 generations deep, Paris, who, whether she done anything significant or not, I don't know, but she was born into money, Eric. So Paris
Yeah.
Hilton would never have to work a day in her life, nor
She
even for
start
her
she
children.
started with a head start.
She had the head start, and that's just amazing, man. And those are the things that we have to do, guys. We've got to position ourselves so we can do that. Fernando, I know you believe in this, and you work hard to create that situation where you can leave that legacy. Your thoughts and closing remarks as we finalize this tonight.
Well, all I can say is this opportunity was created for you and I.
Mm.
For those that are here for the very first time, I want you to trust the process, because sometimes, we have dreams, we have goals, we see exactly what the wealthy has done and continues to do, how they're leaving a legacy for their families. But the question becomes, what picture do you see there? See, I'm a grandfather of, and I know that the clock is ticking, and it's just amazing to know that we have five kids actually, and two granddaughters. I was thinking about that right now. My youngest one is 2, beautiful girl, Meadow, and I'm thinking about it. I am so thankful and grateful to be a part of this incredible platform, because it's a short-term proposition. It's only a 5-year game plan. That's it. 5-year game plan. And I've been in this industry for 31 years, like I've said, and I haven't seen anything as good as what we have here, where we can actually plan our financial future to leave a legacy. And that's the objective. Change the trajectory of your family, of your destination, by making a wise decision for you and your family tonight. Don't put it off anymore. Excuses don't pay bills. Make the decision tonight and see your face already on that frame, that you're going to be the impacting father, mother, grandfather, grandmother, in that picture right there, where your grandkids, great grandkids will be talking about you and how you were able to change your legacy.
Awesome, sir. Absolutely awesome. Guys, if you've seen enough and heard enough tonight to join us on this mission, this ministry, this crusade, this movement, on behalf of myself, Mr. Wilder, and Mr. Fernando Ramirez, let us be the first to welcome you to the MWR family. Get back with the marketing director that referred you and let them know whether you want some of the money or you want all the money. Again, either decision is not going to be the wrong one. They're all going to be right. This is our moment. We say, let's get started now. Gentlemen, I can't thank you enough for being here with me tonight. Eric, this was a lot of fun. We possibly may have some questions out there. Fernando will open up their mics and their cameras, and comments, for the good of what we're talking about and doing are welcomed as well. But if you're seeing and hearing this for the first time and you've got questions, now will be time to get those questions answered, particularly those people who were attracted to this concept because of keys to home ownership. You've got the actual expert on the platform with you right now. So if you've got a question related to that, now would be the time to ask, because you're going to get it from the horse's mouth. Fernando Ramirez shows us an example of what can be done in a very short period of time. Val is asking, what is the website address, please? Not sure what she's requesting there, Fernando.
Probably the best thing for Val to do is to obviously get with the person that introduced her to MWR. Remember, when you have this business, each of us have our own websites. They're very nice, very professionally done. So if you're trying to get more information about the business, that's the place to go. And also, our websites are already set up to enroll the members or the new agents, collect the money. So think about this. For that $100, I don't have to go out and get a merchant account. I didn't have to go out and set up all these different relationships between banks and credit card companies. It's all done for you for $100. That's why, for me, I hate to say this, but I probably will spend $100 in a weekend, and I don't have a brand new business that can generate lifetime residual income. So for me, it wasn't a hard decision. The real decision was, could this help me? Could this help my clients? And I saw with the credit restoration right off the bat, right there was one area that I knew lots of clients needed their help. When we were able to make a connection between the founder of the Certified Affordable Housing Program, this nationwide program that provides housing regardless of credit or down payment, and MWR saw the opportunity and ran with it, that's when I said, for me, that I found the place that lines up very, very well. And I will just tell you that my business helps MWR, and MWR has helped my business a lot.
Wow. Strong as thunder right there. Guys, are there any questions? Particularly, again, if you're seeing and hearing this for the first time, now would be the time. We don't want you to leave this platform tonight without having a full understanding of what you've seen and heard. Eric, you got excited about something. I don't know.
I did. All of a sudden, I just remembered one thing. Listen, Dr. Parker has a few great quotes, and one of my favorites, and this is how we're going to end. Dr. Parker, I mentioned before, he has just released his book. The name of the book is get excited or stay broke. Okay. This is an incredibly motivational piece of literature that goes hand in hand with what we've been talking about tonight. Look it up on Amazon. Dr. Gerald Parker, Get Excited or Stay Broke. And that's all I have to say.
Thank you, sir, for the plug. I
Wow.
really appreciate that, guys. And as you say, Eric, it's a motivational piece. It's inspirational. We pray that it is. But I really believe that people, and it's a short read, but very powerful. But it will not only offer you the motivation, but a structured plan as to how you move from level to level. And we've just got to make a commitment. And sometimes we have to be reminded of who we are and whose we are. And I think the book does that, kind of lays out that plan. So it's designed to really inspire people, to move people forward, to say, listen, it doesn't matter how old you are. If that desire is there, if the dream is still there, don't let it go. Hang on to it, run towards it. Things are going to open up and will happen for you. But so we're excited. We're excited to see the results. It's going to be a good time. I thank you, sir. Thank Fernando Ramirez and our audience for being here with us. Join us again next Wednesday night. Hey guys, consider this. Bring someone with you. Let's double our numbers. I'm curious to see what it could look like, and let people make their own decisions, but put them in front of the information and let us help you close them out. That's what these platforms are designed to do. Tomorrow night is Wednesday. We've got a corporate event. Friday night is what we call a Latino takeover. So there'll be a book reading Friday morning as well as a presentation on Friday evening. Then we circle back on Saturday. And listen, this Saturday is going to be exciting. Mr. Wilner is going to be our reader for the book club on Saturday morning. I'll be presenting on Saturday, and then Fernando Ramirez, the same team. Fernando is going to be training on Saturday. So guys, it's going to be good. Now is the time to position yourself to win. Gentlemen, God bless you both. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Good night, everyone. Camera, you can open your cameras, microphones if you want to wish us good nights. Say good night.
Good night.
Bye.
Good night. Thank
Good
you.
night.
Good night.
Oh my God. Thank you.
Thank you for everything. I really learned a lot tonight. Thank you very much.
Great to have you, Heidi. Good night.
Good night, and thank
Mr. Wilder.
night.
Micah,
Good
hello.
night.
Heidi, hello.
you.
Mr. Pino. Good night, Lovey.
Good night.
David.
Great
Good
presentation.
night. Cassandra. Good night.
Hi. Great presentation.
Thank you, champion.
Fernando or
Adrian,
Eric
good night.
may have a guest for you on an appointment. Eric tomorrow, Mr. Hafam and or Mr. Gomez.
Awesome. Great job, Adrian.
Thank you.
All right.